Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. I hope that you guys are doing okay this morning. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, you guys. Um, Make sure I always try to stress that you hit the like button because the like button helps the video to generate. I'm still a little under the weather, but I am getting better. I've been sitting here doing some research and I kind of been doubly multitasking. I hate when I sit still because I be working two laptops, one to the other. And believe it or not, I was intending to do another video last night, but I kind of got caught up in, I got curious. Okay. As you all know, I talk about Young Dolph because Young Dolph was killed right in my hometown, right? Very familiar with the area that Young Dolph was murdered in. And I started since this Young Dolph situation happened, and I won't say situation, I'll say assassination. I think it has opened the doors as it relates to so many young rappers with potential, with a winner's mind, with their genius, with their you know, just with their talent being taken out, you know. Um, And if nothing else, Young Dolph's, because it's been happening, but if nothing else, Young Dolph's murder kind of blew the roof off of that. Okay, the cover off of that. And it's kind of like wide open. And I see a lot of rappers, a lot of labels, it's like the music industry and its evilness is being um, exposed. Now, one thing I have to say about the devil, because social media is very powerful, the devil never goes down without a fight. The devil sends their imps, as I had told you all. And I had said that I was not going to speak about this because the proper people are working on that. But I guess, when the devil puts his imps on a mission. Of course, people get paid and they'll do anything. Somebody was trying to hack into my social media last night, you know. Um I think it's a shame. Like that's what the devil does when they want to quiet you. And some of the same things that's happening on social media is happening with it has happened with some of these young artists. Except for you got other vloggers. If they can't quiet you, they start thinking about murder. Some of these people have murdered women anyways because they have a hate for women, right? That's why they don't have issues with coming at them, right? Um, so I got curious and I started looking into FBG Duck. Now I know we talk about King Von quite a bit, and I know that FBG Duck and King Von um, were rivals. One was BG, what is it, BD? The other was GD. Was it BD and GD? Black Disciples and Gangster Disciples. And I kind of looked at the history of when it was formed in Chicago, and the two guys who actually formed those two, they were not enemies. The originators, they were not necessarily enemies, okay, from what I was reading. But somehow they became enemies, and there was like you know, been like a bloodshed. Chicago, a lot of people and a lot of people say that drill rap kind of originated from Chicago. You know, one thing I can say is that FBG Duck was very talented, and I had the opportunity to look at some of his interviews and things of that nature. I know someone who met him in person, and they was like, they was walking out of a store, and this giant walked up behind him because they say he was just like this giant teddy bear, and was like, "Mama, you need some help." They was like they was trying to carry some stuff. I believe put to their car from out the store. And they said they was like, when they looked up and saw it was him, it was like, oh my God, can I have a hug? Because they was shocked. And he was like, yeah, mama, you can have a hug. I'm just going to help you. And the person said, they told him, well, you be careful. And he said, all right, mama, I'll be careful. You be careful too. They said, but it's just the idea that he just walked up from behind them while they was coming out of a store and saw them struggling and was like, you need some help with that. This, he had celebrity status then because she recognized him. Um, but I started looking at a lot of his interviews, and you could tell, I know he was in that street life, that the young man was hungry and he was even willing to call a truce. As a matter of fact, he did a song. He tried, but from my understanding, the other side was opposing. And I know when there's a lot of bloodshed, um, sometimes there's going to always be situations where one side does not want to, concede or whatever. But I started listening to some of his music. That dude was hard. And I think FBG Duck was one of those ones that, because they had been dissing each other, okay, back and forth anyways, because they were rival gangs. And one side kind of blew up before the other. But FBG Duck had gotten a foothold, okay? He had just recently gotten a contract. And I think it's a damn shame because you see a lot of old niggas. You see that right here on YouTube. And, I heard people say, that, because y'all hear me say all the time, there's no fairness in war, but it ain't gonna be no war on here on no YouTube for me because this is not my damn source. Okay, when you have a gutter mentality, you constantly looking at other people as your competition and they saying, fuck you, because this ain't my source. Okay, so that's why you have to, anyways, let me not get into that. Okay, but anyways, with FBG Duck had just gotten a contract. Okay, FBG Duck, as I said, they had been going back and forth with each other for a while, but as soon as he got that contract, as soon as he started making momentum, his songs started making buzz really on the outside of Chicago. His numbers started going up on YouTube. Um, that's when, okay, it appears that the rivalry decided he had to go. I don't think it necessarily had anything to do with the diss songs because they was dissing each other back and forth before they started gaining momentum, really. But as soon as FBG Duck signed that contract and he started making noise, because the dude was talented, okay? He was very talented. He got a song with Ruga that was kind of fun, because I think the Old Block guys had songs where they kind of dissed them and they were kind of fun, but I guess in the midst of it all, it was still kind of sad because they were, you're talking about dead bodies and people dropping, like taking somebody out is a sport. That's evil on so many levels, okay, for anybody, okay. But FBG Duck was one of those ones that wanted to get out of the hood, from what my research and what I could see. And I know he had done dirt, but he was willing to call a truce so that he and his dudes, could, get money in peace. I heard some of his interviews where he talked about giving back to the community, where he talked about buying up situations, land and stuff in the community, how you took care of the families within the community. He really had the right type of personality, okay? And he just kind of, just listening to him, he kind of just put me in the mind of Dolph, because I feel like whomever it was that was threatened by him, because when you've been going back and forth with people for years, okay, and I'm not saying that nobody's didn't drop, but I think it's a damn shame that because this young man signed a deal and that jealousy, I think he was stalked because he was actually taken out downtown while he was shopping. I believe it was around the holidays, and a upscale area. And in my research, I was able to find us a video. I don't know if I want to show that. Um, Whereas when he was laying on the ground and his girlfriend was screaming, okay, and he fought and held on to life. He did. He was a real big dude. Looked like he was about 6'7" in stature. He was a big dude. You could tell from the way he talked. He was had, you can people put on these personas, but you could tell. I can look at people and tell when they're evil and when they're not. And I don't think that he was an evil person. I just think that he was of maybe somewhat a victim of his environment. Okay, because people can be victims of their environments. They kind of take on what's around them to survive. Okay. And he kind of got into that gang situation kind of early on. And, I hate that the young man, we didn't get the opportunity to see his potential because I feel like his rivalry saw that he had gotten a foothold and was gaining momentum. It didn't have anything to do with, them retaliating on on each other back and forth, or them putting, what they, the retaliatory situations in songs, because they had already been doing that. It had everything to do with that young man getting a foothold. Okay. It had everything to do with him signing that contract and getting ready to blow up, and the world was getting ready to see him. And because of his potential, he was probably getting ready to surpass a lot of his rivalries because he had the right type of personality. Somebody help me up in here. Okay. Because when you got the right type of personalities, especially when you're willing, I saw where he said he was willing to call a truce and put this stuff to the side. And the man even did a song, in memory of even some of his, some of the people that had fallen. Okay. Talking about how they needed to come together and call a truce. Okay. Because he wanted to get himself and his mother and his family, because he said it himself, out of bad living. Okay. And show them a better life. Okay. Now, he had just signed that contract. I don't think that he was where he wanted to be because he was still in the hood. And I'm not saying that he was a saint, but I listened to some of his mother's interviews, and she don't strike me as one of those types, okay, that a mother knows her children. Stop. She said now she had a son named Rick to die, okay, to be killed, okay. And when they mentioned her two sons, she said she was able to distinguish them. She said Duck ain't did nothing, okay. She said I don't, it is, and I'm not saying that he didn't, because I believe Duck was out there flipping some stuff, okay. But she said when you say Duck, it's hard for me to believe because I know my children. She said, now, if you say Brick, I ain't got nothing to say about that. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you about that. I'm not going to say anything because I know in my mind that it's probably true. She said, but when you start talking about Duck, I know my kids. I just don't believe that Duck was that vicious. Okay. And just for me looking at his interviews, even though he was in this situation where they was doing retaliatory stuff, okay, I don't know if the young man even had a criminal history. I don't know that, but I do know that he had a lot of talent. And the idea that the person that I know, because I got several friends in Chicago, happened to meet him, and he's a celebrity at this point. And he walked up behind her and said, "Mama, you need some help?" And she looked up at him. She said, "I saw this." I was like, "That's FBG Duck. He trying to help her put her stuff in the car because he saw her struggling." And then told her to be careful out here, mama. So, in just looking at, I think he's very underrated, and his rivals knew that he was getting ready to blow up. And I think it's a damn shame before God that, and a lot of these people that run with these gang members ought to take heed to this. FBG Doug one killed because, you know, um, he was dissing anybody. I know that's what they want to make the little dudes around them believe. FBG Duck was killed because he had gained a foothold. That's that same generational witchcrafty shit that's got niggas paying folks to still try to hack into my stuff last night. Because people are afraid of you gaining a foothold, but they still haven't understood when they're getting themselves sentenced to life or whatever they're gonna get. I'm talking about as it relates to FBG Duck or any other situation where people are consistently trying to commit offenses against other people because they are jealous of them. What they don't understand is you still can't stop what God has. Now, they took FBG Duck out, they took Young Dolph out, and guess what? They're immortal because FBG Duck is still gaining momentum with his music. You can kill the body, but you still can't kill what God has ordained. If it was meant for his music to be heard, that's what's going to happen. And his music is still being heard. I had never thought to go and listen to FBG Duck. But I think it's a damn shame before God that these rappers are being taken out, okay, because of their potential, okay, because of their talent, because he had gained a foothold, okay. See, they tricked the other little dudes around him. Yeah, we took care of that because he was dissing me. Now, in his mind, now he get ready to surpass me. He got this deal, and we got to eliminate that. Okay. But how many people know you have to reap what you sow? Okay. God says, when I get them back for what they did to you, you're going to see me get them back. Okay. So you have to reap what you sow. And it's sad that so many young men are being taken out because these old MFs, and I'm trying to be good today. I don't know if I've cussed, but I've been trying not to because my mama looked at my video. My mama been getting on here praying, coming up against the devil every day. So she been clicking on my videos. I told her I wasn't going to cuss because I don't cuss in front of my mama. I didn't know she was clicking on my videos like that, okay? But it's sad that a lot of these old Negroes, okay, is taking out these younger rappers because they want to extend their 5 minutes of fame to 15 minutes. Okay. And God is blowing the lid off of all of it because it's overkill. They so dogmatic, it's like overkill, and they send their imps out. They put these folks on the internet to try and change the narrative, and it ain't gonna change nothing because guess what? God has his people everywhere. Whether it's in the police department, the FBI, the DEA, he has his people everywhere. And when it's time for justice, that can't be stopped, no matter how much money you spend. Okay. The money that you spend to terrorize the Black community, the money that you got from the Black community when they was bringing their asses up. Okay. Because the Black community supported them before a lot of these people that's behind them now, that's got them committing atrocities in their own damn communities. Okay. So that's why God is blowing the lid off of all of this stuff. Okay. Because it's time for it to be brought down to include all the artists and the record companies that Michael Jackson and Prince, the people that are in the back rooms that's got the batter in these cuckabug head Negroes' backs. Okay. God blowing the lid off of all of that. Because he's tired of him taking these people, taking his people out. Okay. Because of jealousy. We're killing people with good hearts. You got people trying to commit assaults on people just because of their potential, like what they're trying to do to me. And what they don't understand, I'm pre-YouTube. I had a TV show, okay, on the real TV, okay. So rappers are being taken out because of their potential. And I think about FBG Duck, and he was a soldier until the end, okay. When his girlfriend was screaming out there, he tried to raise up and he looked back at her like he wanted to comfort her. Okay. He was a soldier until the end. They say he didn't make it on the way to the hospital. Okay. But he was a soldier until the end. But what people don't understand is FBG Duck was somebody's father. Okay. And I know the other fallen soldiers was somebody's father and son. But the young man did try and call a truce. Okay. And it's sad when people don't want to call a truce. Okay. When the score may be even because of your potential. No, we can't really call a truce. Although some might want to. You might have some little dudes around there that around them that want to. But you got those ones that has another agenda and sees this person not as competition. They don't give a damn about them really killing the little dudes around them. That just gives them a reason because they're so animalistic to just go and retaliate. That's it. It's about a sport. Okay, because if they cared about the little dudes around them, they would protect them more. As a matter of fact, they making money in rap. They get them off the damn street. But it was about the competition. He had gained a foothold when he got that record deal. Okay. And the young man was getting ready to blow up. So rest in peace to FBG Duck. Rest in peace to all the fallen soldiers. Okay. Rest in peace to Dolph. Rest in peace to King Von. All of the young people that have lost their lives. But this has got to stop. You got people in back rooms that's putting a battery in black people's back to make killing a sport in their own community. And it's got to stop in that spirit of jealousy. The spirit of jealousy allows them to let them people put the battery in their back. And it's got to stop, you guys. All right, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, I've been working on quite a bit of stuff. So be looking for some more videos. I might go live. I don't know. It'll be probably, I don't know. I'll probably just drop videos today. I think that's what I'm gonna do. While I'm still sitting at home, I'm still congested, but I'm getting better, okay? Talk to you guys later.